Welcome to the Leaders on Leaders podcast. I am Jason Smith. I'm the founder CEO of Sponsor CX, and I've got Jeff Burningham here with me as my guest. Welcome, JB.
Jason, the famous Jason Smith.
The Mount Rushmore of tech startups here. What a better way to kind of kick this thing off than having you on the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. And always love being with you, Jason.
Yeah,
That's the most important part.
Brother. I chose you to come on this podcast with me because I look at you as one of my great mentors. And
thanks, man.
You believed in me as a founder and our company, Sponsor CX, very, very early. And I thought it'd be fun to just start with sharing our story.
Yeah.
A little bit how we met. And I'll start with that. So I started Sponsor CX, years ago, but we launched the product in 2021. And I remember this, Jeff. I was flying into Boise State Athletics because I was working for Mountain America Credit Union at the time, and we sponsored Boise State.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there going, I can't do serve two masters.
Yeah.
I gotta I'm doing my startup on the side. I'm starting to get customers, but I'm like, I need some investment. I think I was 42 or so at the time. It's like, I can't just go live in my mom's basement again. I've got to.
You were in your prime.
I wasn't in my prime.
It was time to go.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I got 4 kids. What do we do here? So I'm like, you know what? I gotta go all in on this. And I emailed a friend of mine, Jeff Rust, who we both know. Another Jeff.
Great guy.
And he introduced us, and I reached out to you, and you said, hey, come meet me in my house.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do. I remember you coming up. Yeah, I've hosted hundreds of entrepreneurs at my house in Provo. Yep. Yeah,
and we had a great chat, and you and your partners invested in Sponsor CX, and we're super grateful for it. And that was in 2021. Can you believe it? Here we are.
Yeah,
almost 4 years later.
4 years later. Yeah. Well, Jace, a couple things. One, it's easy to believe in you.
Thank you.
So Thanks. It always has been. Always will be. Obviously, we were excited about what Sponsor CX was tackling. And I think it's interesting. Every entrepreneur, or most entrepreneurs, I should say, get to this point where they're kind of serving two masters. You know, they have their main thing. They've been working on something on the side, and eventually it's going to break. There's a tipping point that allows you, I think, to step into your own hero's journey, to become your own dude, to lean all into your startup.
Yeah.
It's kind of a trust fall into that. And that's an exciting time. You know, there are times and seasons for everything. And it's an exciting time when you take the step all in. And it's been a good adventure so far.
Yeah. And what I love is that, you know, you said, hey, Jason, I believe in you. It's like believing in the jockey, right?
Yeah.
Hey, yes, the company is great, and you've always said that from me from the beginning. And what I've loved about your mentorship over the last, 4 years since we first met is just your willingness to take my call.
Yeah.
And when I have questions or I'm dealing with something challenging, you're like, hey, let's grab some Roxbury and let's go sit on the back porch and have a discussion about it. And that has been super helpful to me. And so thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for that.
I mean, this is why I did venture investing. And by the way, this is why I'm not running, the fund that I started any longer. Is I like this kind of one-on-one mentorship. I like pressure with, I don't like the pressure of LPs necessarily. I like investing my own capital. And so, it's a fun journey. It's fun to become friends. It's fun to go through the ups and downs, the roller coaster that is entrepreneurship. And when you've done it as much as I have, you kind of start to see patterns, right? And you kind of start to see some of the same things happen again. So you're able to pass on that knowledge to up and coming entrepreneurs, first time entrepreneurs like yourself. And so there's a lot of satisfaction in that. I've always been a believer in Utah. I mean, that's why I ran for governor in the state in 2020. But, I've always seen the capital that I've invested here, which I've heavily concentrated in Utah. I've wanted to grow Utah. And so you're a part of that story and many others.
Yeah. Tell for those, almost everybody probably listening to this knows who you are, but why don't you just give a quick, little background on your history here in Utah in the tech space?
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Let's see if I can do this in 1 minute. Time
You got like 30 seconds.
Started,
1 minute's fine.
started,
We'll
a,
1 minute.
started a tech company as an undergrad at BYU, sold it to a NASDAQ-listed firm in my mid to late 20s, started a real estate private equity firm called Peak Capital Partners, been one of the fastest growing companies in Utah and in the United States for a decade or so. We've owned billions and billions of dollars of real estate. When that kind of got on its feet, two great partners there, Jeff Danley and Jamie Dunn, when that got on its feet about 15 years ago-ish, we had money for a little bit of extra money for the first time. And we sat around our little conference table. I remember it in Provo, Utah. And Jeff, Jamie, and I said, what should we do? We have a little extra money. We almost didn't make it through the Great Recession, but we did. And I said, I know exactly what we should do. There is an oversupply of good entrepreneurs like you, Jason, and an undersupply of good capital. Remember, this is 15 years ago. I'm not sure that's exactly the same spot we're in now. So I said, let's start investing in startups. So Kirk Wiemet and Garrett G at Scan, I'm trying to think Ryan Caldwell at MX, Kurt Workman at Owlet. I'm trying to think of some of the earliest deals that we looked at and went into. Those were the kind of people that we were around and the kind of deals that we invested in just as angels. Then we had LPs, investors in our real estate, private equity, that really wanted venture exposure. I was excited. I'm an early stage guy. When the risk is taken out of something, I kind of lose interest. I like pushing this early stage. And so it was a good time for me to pivot and really focus on venture. So I did that while Jeff and Jamie, focused on the real estate. We opened Peak Ventures. I eventually ran for governor. The name was changed to Album. I no longer run that fund and have not for the last 5 years or so. Ran for governor, lost during COVID.
Yeah.
The most critical months of the campaign were March, April, May, and June of 2020. I was ran against.
It's a rough time to run for governor.
Yeah, especially as an outsider. I'm not a politician. I was an entrepreneur, and this is a lot longer than a minute.
There's no, I made it tough.
Yeah, I was running against John and Spencer Cox, John Huntsman Jr. and Spencer Cox, and there was no way that an outsider like me was going to win in an environment where we couldn't even meet people. Anytime that there's disruption in a market, you see this in financial markets, you see it in politics, there's a flight to safety. So you're going to go towards the names that you know. But I lost that into the summer, that race into the summer of 2020. Been on a super cosmic journey the last 5 years. I'm releasing a book in a week, a little less than a week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's called The Last Book Written by a Human, Becoming Wise in the Age of AI. So now I've become like this crazy driven entrepreneur, kind of this, I would say in the book, a human doing. I'm coming back to my being, and I'm becoming like this artist and hippie in my old age. I'm 48 years old.
I called you a monk the other day.
Yeah, you called me a monk.
Yeah, you're a monk.
Yeah, I've gone like monk mode, you know?
Monk mode.
Monk mode. That. And so, yeah, that's kind of my the arc of my career. And that was a lot longer than a minute, but there's some details in there that might have been interesting.
Yeah, so, what I love is you talked about how you love that early stage and you're drawn to it and that risk. Yeah. When I was first introduced to you, I was introduced to like 5 others that could have helped us launch Sponsor CX and do what you did. You were the one that took the call and took the meeting, and my hope is that you reap the rewards of that, down the road. But that just shows like your belief in founders in Utah. And so what do you look for a founder? Like when you're in the midst of looking at someone to invest in, what are those qualities you're looking for?
Yeah, first, real quick, I've already reaped the rewards, man. Like,
I know.
I hope it works out financially,
so
and I think it will. But like, just our relationship, our friendship,
absolutely.
That's worth it.
It's
obviously,
valuable. It's invaluable.
Yeah,
actually.
and obviously, you invest money to hopefully make more money, but that's not kind of the end goal. Yeah, and something you said 5 minutes ago or so is so key in early stage investing. It's much more about the team. I've taught entrepreneurship as an adjunct at BYU to thousands of students now. And I often tell them every single time that I get an email, whatever, a business plan, a business model, a pitch, there's only one thing I know for certain. And that's that it's not right. It's not correct. Like, it's completely untrue and wrong. And I just don't know how it's wrong. And neither does the founder. Neither of us know how it isn't right. So the early stages of entrepreneurship is a lot about pivoting. The only thing that matters in the early days, or the number one thing that matters, I tell my entrepreneurs, is product market fit. Mm-hmm. Product market fit wins the day. It carries the day in the earliest stages.
And you got to give your time to get to it.
Yeah, well, and that takes twists and turns to find that out. And so it's always about the person. It's about the entrepreneur. Yeah. So what do I look for? I look for someone that I can hang out with, someone that I like, someone that I trust.
Thanks, JB.
Yeah, man. Someone that I trust, someone that I'd want to hang out with, someone that I trust. And then, of course, someone that has the tenacity to like go after and get it. Like, you know, as an early stage entrepreneur, you're going to hit roadblocks like every day. It's really a master class in problem solving. Yeah. So I'm looking for someone who is light on their feet, that can solve problems and has the drive to make it happen, because that's what it's going to take. It's a long journey. When I write a check in these early stage companies, which I'm still doing, me and my partners are still doing under a new brand, Element is the brand, Element Ventures, and we still monthly are writing at least a couple of checks. We know this is a long road. Like, it's a 5 to 10 to 15 year journey that we're about to step on with this entrepreneur. Is this a road, a long path that we want to go on with this founder or this founding team?
And I love that you just put my name in light. You know,
that's right,
I'm a
dude.
big guy. Like, you know,
dude, you're an offensive lineman. You're light on your feet, bro.
Yeah, light on my feet. No,
Strong hands, light on your feet. I was a quarterback, so you're
that's
like blocking for me and
that's right. Not moving those feet.
Baby.
You know, those 300-pound feet. So when it comes to growth, it takes a lot to get to like 1 million ARR, 5 million ARR, 10 million, and then you get into, you know, these enterprise, you know, companies. Like, what does it take? Like, someone listening to the podcast, like, how do I get my startup? We're doing $100,000 a year in ARR, and how do I get to that million? And then how do I get to the 5? Like, what are the qualities, I guess, or the characteristics that you see in a founder that actually get to where
Well,
like to go?
Two thoughts come to mind, and I'm trying to kind of be quick here because a lot of questions. And but again, product market fit. So the more fit you have between your product and market, the faster you're going to scale. I mean, that's where growth comes. So number one, after that, in my opinion, I would tell this: the best teams most often win. So I think your job, Jason, pretty quickly, once you have product market fit, becomes scaling a team that can scale with you and can scale with the business. Yeah. So it becomes actually less about
we're getting to that right now, where it's like that next stage, it's a fun stage to be at.
Yeah, it's less about the founder. It's less about the CEO. Yeah. It's actually about your ability to sell the vision, recruit talent, and then keep them excited. Unlock. All of us have unimaginable, like, hidden potential and talents within each one of us. And really the role of the founder entrepreneur, once product market fit is achieved, is to empower his or her team to run and to make it happen. So trying to be quick in the answer, that's the first thing that I would think of.
That's actually been fun for me right now, is like, because now it was just me and Creed, right? To kind of start. Now we have 30 plus of us, and you know, we just had a team huddle yesterday, and we talked about the vision. We talked about, what do we want this thing to look like in the next 5 years, right? In 10 years. And so what do we need to be doing today? And that's the fun part, like when the spark in the eye happens, you know, when you start talking to your team, they're like, this is awesome, I'm excited. And I got a ton of Slack messages from team members afterwards, like, thank you for sharing that. Like, I'm so excited about the direction of the company. It's inspiring the team.
Yeah, and I think this is an important lesson I'm going to double down on a little bit, just because I think it's something, having been a kind of right in the middle participant of Utah's growth in the last 25 years, I think this is something we could do better. Yeah. Like, you know, like a rising tide raises all boats. Yeah. So again, in my opinion, the job of the founder and CEO, once product market fit, the number one job, once product market fit has been achieved, is to surround yourself with great people. That takes an ego-less leader. That takes kind of sacrificing your ego a little bit on the altar of what's best for the team. And while we have some great examples of that in the state, I think it's something that we can continue to work on, myself included, all of us. This is a journey for all of us. We're all on this interesting journey of existence. And this ride of entrepreneurship often kind of mirrors that in some like really interesting ways and accelerates this path of growth. Yeah.
And from a leadership standpoint, since we're talking about that, like what quality of leader does a startup need? I mean, you talked about put the ego aside, with that, but like, what do you feel like are those characteristics that need to be in place in order for success?
I'll say three things. Number one, in the very earliest stages, when a partnership like you and Creed come and pitch me or whatever, I love a CEO who is into his product. I think of, hesitate to, but like Eric Ray and Podium, he was into his product and
just passion around it.
Like so I like a CEO and a founder who is into their product, who understands it, who has some experience with that, etc. One. Two, I currently think at the ripe old age of 48 and with all the varied experience, which I have now had and I'm racking that up, I think that the most important characteristic of a great leader is awareness or presence. So being able to do a lot, because you got to do a lot when you start a company, but do you do it in awareness and presence? I was really not good at this at the beginning of my career as I was starting companies, and I just was not present and aware. The future really doesn't exist. It's just a figment of our imagination. All our plans, all our projections only occur and happen in the present moment. So we experience the future as we get there in the present moment. Mistakes of the past, it's in the past. There's nothing you can do. So a leader who can bring like real awareness and presence to the moment, I think it is like the most important skill. The third thing I'll say real quick, I think the most underappreciated skill for a leader is simply kindness.
Kindness disarms any sort of negative energy.
Yeah, and again, it's a little bit different than maybe the hustle culture that like we've been used to, the like a little bit of a braggadocio, like here we go, I think that kindness carries the day. I think that in any leadership position and in life in general, love is almost always the answer. Like no matter what comes to you, no matter what challenges you face, the appropriate response is almost always love. This is easy to talk about in this nice little podcast studio with your buddies. The rubber really meets the road when we leave this, when we go to our various meetings throughout the rest of the day. We have friction with people. Things aren't going as we had planned. Can we approach and enter those moments with awareness and love, kindness towards our fellow travelers, which the people that we're working with. I think that is the key. And
it doesn't mean that we can't disagree on things. You can still interact in kindness.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Still
like
do that. Yeah.
Yeah, like so much of what divides us is illusory, whether it's politically or whatever it is. So understanding that at the root of both of us, whenever I'm with another human being, I'm on sacred ground. Like this is why management, leadership, being a CEO, can be one of the highest in callings, so to speak, because you're with people. The direct manager affects their people so much. People at work or people spend more time with their manager sometimes than they do their spouse or children. So that manager is really critical to their quality of life and their well-being.
Phil, we're transitioning into the book now, which I
Sorry,
love.
Dude, I'm in the book.
I know you're living it, like you're living the book. So this human element of it, and the last book written by a human, right? And it has to, outlining around AI and how we need to not let AI disrupt the human element of life, right?
Yeah.
Can you just talk about why you wrote the book and this, how you became one with the monk, JB the monk,
how
to
JB
really
has
kind of
entered monk mode.
monk mode. That's what we talked about.
This is a long story, so I'll keep it short. But I wrote the book because I felt like I had to.
Yeah.
This book has been painful and transformational for me. If I had a choice, kind of like the governor run, if I felt like I didn't understand why my subconscious was pulling me into that race so hard, I now see that it was so I could have time and space to create something new, this book and whatever else I'm going to be working on in the future. I had never had time and space in my entire adult life because I had, like I said, kind of become a human doing. I was addicted to doing. So the thesis of the book in one sentence is that, and I think it's critical. So I wrote it because I had to. I felt like I had to, and I'm writing it because I'm concerned about the state of humanity in 2025. And you see the division, greed, and hate that still permeates so much of politics and culture and everything else. Then you layer on this godlike, quote unquote, technology called AI onto that. Mm-hmm. And you just look out a decade or two or three, and it's hard, Jace, to not feel like our children and grandchildren's future isn't as bright as it should be.
They're not going to use their brains to connect.
Yeah, there's so many, like, human relationship. Like, there's so many pitfalls here. But I also think, luckily, in this instance, as is often the case, the obstacle becomes the way. Yeah. So I think leaning into AI with wisdom and focusing it squarely on human flourishing instead of human division, I think we can get there. And so the thesis of the book in one sentence is this: as our machines become more and more intelligent, which they are, we as humans must become more wise.
Yeah.
And I think that is our mandate. I think the message of the book is meeting the moment. The response has been really strong. I've been very grateful. And so, I've become like this weird artist and hippie. I continue to make investments. I continue to mentor.
Well, you lived in Oregon for a little bit, so there's the
we grew up in
You,
Oregon.
right?
It's got to be natural. We grew up with it, right? So did you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're both hippies.
Where's your tie-dye, bro?
I know. We need some Bill Walton tie-dyes.
That's right. Headbands.
That's awesome. Where can people go if they're interested in getting a book and learning about it?
I appreciate this. Yeah, the podcast doesn't need to be about this, but I appreciate it. Yeah, just follow me, jeffburningham.com. I have a website. You can go there. It's probably the best place. It's for sale everywhere you can get books: Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Target. It's for sale everywhere. And then I'm on social media. I continue to be, I really have mixed feelings about social media. But I'm at Jeff Burningham almost everywhere. I opened a Substack a week or so ago, maybe a TikTok 2 weeks ago. And so, like, I'm trying to reach the people where they're at. Yeah, I'm doing TikTok dances, bro. I love to bust a move. But so, I'm trying to reach the people where I'm at. So that's where people can find the book. Obviously, I continue to invest through my family office with Jeff and Jamie. It's called Element Ventures, and they can follow us there and look us up there. We continue to try to back the best and brightest entrepreneurs in the state of Utah. Like you, there's been a whole nother herd of entrepreneurs since you that have come through, and the investments we've made in companies that people have heard of and that we're really excited about early stage.
Well, go get the book. Leave a review on Amazon. You're doing great work, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Jace.
Love it.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on the podcast today.
Oh, thank you. You're doing great work too, dude.
Thank you.
And it's not easy. You're like in the trenches.
Thank you.
Sponsor CX.
It's fun.
Making it
We're
happen.
having a great time.
Yeah, dude. Well, you're a great leader.
Thank you.
Keep it up.